us. A new week has begun. We are in for all kinds of adventures. The Clarity Act, it's whether it's been passed, has not been passed. Now I'm hearing September 15th. I think a lot of this kind of wiggling around with the Clarity Act is just to bring more and more people into an understanding of what's going on. The EBS, I want to talk a little bit about the EBS because I've been saying for years that the EBS is not happening, and I'm starting to feel like that may or may not be true anymore. And the EBS, of course, I've said this before, that the EBS could take place at different times in different places in different ways. This is not this is not the old world where everything drops at once, but the drop, the first domino, seems to me that it's already been knocked down, and the dominoes seem to be falling around us. However, there are the vast majority of America, of the world, is fast asleep. Lionsgate, yeah, we're at Lionsgate. This is a very dramatic, empowering, confusing, chaotic time. I mean, it's even happened. It happens to us personally, and it happens to us as a collective. This is a re-examination, a restructuring, a an empowering of humanity that breaks all the old rules. All the old rules are laid bare. All the things that you thought about yourself, you thought about your world, are are being reorganized, redistributed, re-understood. Nothing can stop this. Yeah, Lionsgate is a very powerful portal. Hold on one second. I just want to turn off the fan. It's a little too noisy for me to think straight. But now I possibly I can think straight to some degree. Lionsgate, the EBS, all this information, all the tribulations that the Anons have been through in the last couple of years, and the normies. The normies are relentlessly intent upon continuing their own thought stream. I'm just going to go right to the thought stream tonight because I think it's important, and I am a bit I'm a bit sort of edged out tonight. I don't feel a strong connection between the person I am before I broadcast and the person I am now. It's an interesting situation because when I start the program, I kind of drop into a different kind of consciousness, and the consciousness before I drop into this consciousness has no connection. So I'm sitting there saying, like, kind of like thinking, like, well, gee, what am I going to talk about? Because I don't. It's like a different aspect of me comes to life. I also want to talk a little bit more about the sightings that we're seeing every night. I mean, we've been seeing a particular, what we thought was a star for the 2 years since we got here. We've been seeing this bright star on the horizon every night for the last 2 years, essentially. And at first we thought it was very interesting, and then we asked a neighbor what that star was. He said, "Oh, that's the North Star." Well, it turns out it's not the North Star. it is a craft. It is a craft that seems to be listening and understanding us. When I tell the craft, could you rise up just to let us know that you've heard us, the craft will rise up. It will go sideways. It is the brightest star, the brightest light in the sky. But it doesn't seem to me to be anything out of the ordinary. It doesn't seem like, oh my gosh, it's a UFO. It's just like, okay, there are crafts out there. They understand us. They're listening to us. They're helping us, in my opinion. And I think more people should be looking into the sky. Just like what I used to complain that not enough people were looking into the sky during the days of the chemtrails. Now, I don't know what it's like where you live, but for us, the chemtrails have been reduced almost to nil. I mean, I hate to say it because every time I say that, it seems like they pick up again, but we're not getting the chemtrails anymore. I don't know if that's because they lost their funding from USAID or whatever, but things are changing rapidly, at least beneath the mainstream media's eye, like the eye of Sauron. spiritualbeancoffee.com. I suggest you check it out. Organic coffee made in small batches. But the Eye of Sauron from the trilogy, from the Tolkien trilogy, is kind of like the all-seeing eye of the Illuminati, of the creepazoids. To keep the bugs off your plants, you have to boil red pepper flakes in water and spray bottles and spray them. Okay, that's good to know. I'll let James know that. I think he's tried something like that. We've been spraying them with garlic, but there is a particular breed of black beetles. They're long, they're fairly big beetles that have, for the second year in a row, completely devastated our tomato crop. I've been suggesting last year we used ash from the fire, and it seemed to be pretty effective, and the leaves did grow back. But this year, not so much. I mean, this year we haven't tried that particular remedy. James has his own. I don't generally mix into his ideas in the garden. I allow him to do his own thing. I think it's better. Anyway, yeah, I appreciate the suggestion, Peppermint Patty. We are definitely. I met kind of by accident. I mean, if there is such a thing as an accident, but I met somebody in the feed store. We have an actual store where people go to buy feed for their animals, and in the feed store, I met a gentleman who had a lot of information about poultry and turkeys and the type of feed. So we feel like we have a new guide for our adventure up here, because he says that turkey eggs are better than chicken eggs, and that he likes them better, and they're fluffier and lighter and more nutritious.
It would be like getting at an expensive restaurant.
What?
It would be like getting at an expensive restaurant.
He said it would be like getting an egg at an expensive restaurant. They're really incredible eggs. So we're working towards that. We had ordered like some chicks that were what they call meat chicks, which are big chickens that people use for food. They can also be used for eggs, apparently. But the meat chicks that we ordered were sold to somebody else, and I didn't reorder because we met this.
And they were shot up too.
And they were shot up too, right? So yeah, I mean, you would think that being off grid and having like a personal relationship with the people in the feed store and everything else, but the chicks in the feed store that come through the feed store probably mostly shot up with mRNA of some kind. until the cabal is completely eradicated. But like I said, the great one, the divine force, protects us. And instead of getting these chicks, these 6 meat chicks, we met this man, and he says, forget about it, man. Buy your chickens from me. You will. I don't shoot up my chickens. So this is how in my opinion, the divine protects us from harm. Try cedar chips. They help keep the pests away. Yeah, I do have some cedar out there in my garden, but yeah, there's all kinds of interesting solutions to try. We're also working with Lewis on the what do you call that stuff again? The
Zeolite.
neolite,
Zeolite.
zeolite. We're trying to order. We've been using a bit of zeolite as well, but the difficulties or the challenges in the desert may be different from other places, but we keep trying different solutions, and we will. I'm sure we will become successful at what we're doing over time, but it takes a little time to kind of figure these things out. Sorry, I have something in my eyes. It's going good. I think it's going good. We're not without difficulties. We're not without challenges. We did manage to purchase a refrigerator that works outside the RV. That is a huge addition to our comfort, because we had a little refrigerator, and we're trying to feed three to four people. It was just so cluttered and clogged up, and it wasn't a new refrigerator. The RV that we have is like at least 20 years old. So we just purchased a refrigerator from Home Depot that is just a refrigerator. There's no freezer component to it, and we're really excited about it. We're also close to the point of wanting to move out the RV. We've isolated some of the challenges that will be involved with moving the RV out. One of those challenges is that I have to buy and use a new electric power box. I have a like a fuse box, a big like a junction box on the RV that channels all the electricity right into the RV. So we're running all the electric appliances and everything, the refrigerators, the freezer, from the RV. But we are now at a point where we want to start getting ready to pull the RV out of this sort of octagonal, roundish building structure that we made. So we designed it so you can take up the posts from the front part. I haven't done any framing on the front part of the house. So we're going to take those posts up, hopefully pull the RV out, back it up somewhere, and then but after we do that, I'll need to run the electric line from the solar panels and establish a new electric box that runs the house. So we'll be working on appliances in the house. And what we have, we have now a flush toilet, which for us is, after having to use a bucket to flush for 2 years, a flush toilet where you just flush the toilet, it's like, it's most people take these things for granted, but if you live off grid, this is the kind of thing that's amazing, and it's just such a comfort. So now having a refrigerator that's in the house and not in the RV is also wondrous, and we're just so happy to have extra space so we can store our fruits and vegetables that we both buy and grow. It's really, things are developing. It's not without its challenges, and we have been spending more time than I would like to in town chasing various kinds of products, but we're at that point where there are a lot of things we need in town. The Clarity Act goes on the floor, right? September 15th, right? We got that investment. Lehman Brothers files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, triggering a peak moment in the global financial crisis. That's quite interesting. Investment firm Lehman Brothers files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, moving the goalposts again. Yeah, I mean, with the Clarity Act, that's how I see it also. No toilet. Yeah, it's a bad situation. No, we had a toilet. We've had a toilet for 2 years. It's just we haven't had a flush toilet. Now we have all these things just come when you're developing your infrastructure, at least for us, since we don't have massive amounts of money, we have to do everything one step at a time. So a month or two ago, we added a small pump to the system. So we now have a pump that pumps the water, puts pressure in the water into the RV. So now we're at the situation where we want to move the RV out. So that same pump will pressure the shower and the sink. Everything has to be sort of orchestrated in order for us, because we did it this way, where we built around the RV with the idea that eventually we would finish the back, which we now have. We have a roof on the back of the house. So we want to pull the RV out, but we need a sink, we need a shower, we need the refrigerator. We have a refrigerator and a freezer outside of the RV, which is really huge, and a flush toilet, of course. Not to mention a nice studio. You're looking at it, and this is developing as well. There are a couple pieces of plywood that we don't. Plywood is our limiting factor, but you'll come help paint. 30 years experience. All right. We're ready, man. We could use a good painter. I painted the roof myself with some kind of roof material. It's like a white paint that's very thick to keep the water off. We don't get much rain, so we don't necessarily need a metal roof. Let's say we could just put a couple coats of paint on it. But yeah, we will need to paint. We're coming into a lot of situations where we finally have to make decisions, and that's, for me, I'm really having to step up to the plate and lead the community in ways that I enjoy just sort of farming things out and being very loosey-goosey about making decisions, like we all make decisions together. But there's some things that I have to just say, okay, this is the way we're going to do it. And I'm having to learn to lead, to be a leader, and it's not so easy. But yeah, the painting. So with the painting, we're now seriously considering, when all these things come. We have plans, but we have to wait for the financial resources. But we're seriously thinking about using hempcrete to insulate the walls. And also, we went to Utah. We bought a little wood stove. So we have a wood stove now. The next thing we need is a sink for the inside to start the kitchen. But all these things have to be orchestrated together. As soon as we pull out the RV, I'll want to have all my wiring already completed, and the plumbing is kind of completed. I'll need to get some kind of regulator for my propane tank so I can keep the hot water system going. Used oil on raw wood will protect for a minimum of 30 years. That's nice. Used oil on raw wood. You mean like what kind of oil? You're talking about like motor oil, or? I mean, that's a very interesting thought. But yeah, we'd love to have. We are inviting people. If you're on a high frequency and you want to hang with people in a loving place where it's not so much about each of us. It's not, if you're beyond your own glorification, and you want to just hang out with some people that understand where you're coming from. Engine oil, that's so interesting. Yeah, I'm going to try. Maybe I'll definitely look into that, because it kind of makes sense. But a great idea on the concrete walls. Yeah, there won't be concrete. There'll be hempcrete. So we're seriously considering this. It's still an, all these things cost money. We don't even have money for plywood, but we just do things step by step. James needs a a shed for all his tools and possibly a place to sleep. Although we have this upstairs area that the guys have been sleeping in. What do you need for zeolite for? Well, we're thinking of using the zeolite for. I mean, Daniela wants to use the zeolite for water filtration. I don't think it's really necessary. We have a well.
Well, that's because of calcium.
Yeah, but calcium, that isn't the appropriate thing for calcium. We have, like, I think they call it hard water.
That's why my hair feels like.
Yeah, but it's zeolite is not. But we don't want, anyway, these are things. But we use some zeolite already in the garden area and for the chickens. But I would like to use if I get, I think Leon, Lou, I think Lou is talking about sending me some zeolite, but it removes all the toxins. If there are toxins from the chemtrails, they'll be removed. Used it gives a different look to wood. I'll bet. That's very interesting. Transmission fluid works too. That is so interesting. So I would use the zeolite to purify our soil conditions just from the chemtrails. Charcoal, lump charcoal, guarded and sand and rocks make your homemade water. Yeah, but the zeolite filter is different in that the activated charcoal tends to break down and release the toxins, according to Lou, whereas the zeolite captures any kind of toxins forever, and it can go down to very small particles. 2 to 5 buckets. Yeah. Students. Okay. So yeah. So we're moving and grooving. I mean, right now I'm at a place where we just put down a post. I'm going to be extending the second floor a little more than I really had wanted to, but just the way things worked out, I'm gonna keep the second floor going. We're gonna put some more rooms on the second floor while we're establishing a kitchen dining room area, and utility area downstairs. But you're welcome to come and visit us. We look forward to having people come and help and check us out and work with us. We're very open to that. If you need to just hang with people who, you won't have to explain what Jasara is up here. I mean, the people here all are very keyed into all that kind of information. You can add the zeolite to the mixture. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of experimentation, but I think the big experiment, and it makes sense, that is to use the hempcrete on the walls, just because we have just open walls. We don't want to use traditional insulation. We're not interested in using sheetrock, so it could be that hempcrete would be the way to go for us. So we're excited. I mean, we're coming to a different point in our development of this land. At the same time, we're interested in the rock formations. We're interested in finding any kind of mineralization in the soil, even though the mineral rights are owned by the BLM people. But however, if we did stumble upon a rock that was interesting in that it seemed to have a lot of valuable minerals, we certainly wouldn't just throw it away and forget about it. Okay, I mean, so yeah, so we're doing a lot. We're enjoying the time up here. It's hot, but it's not like Phoenix. It gets up to about 100 degrees during the day. Pretty nice. Personally, it doesn't bother me because it's so dry. Daniela she has a swamp cooler now. She likes to hang out by her swamp cooler. And Daniela and I have been taking trips. There's a local well that's kind of a public well. I mean, if public, there's not many people up here, but we have there's a public well that's like a 15-minute drive away or 10-minute drive. So Danielle and I go down and hose ourselves off every day to kind of cool down. So yeah, we're enjoying it. It's moving along. My mom has got a pump. Yeah, the pump is really amazing. But I mean, all these things before we had the pump, the idea of a pump was just like, whoosh, that's like science fiction. And then when you get a pump and you get used to it, we were having to fill our RV, the water tank, up all the time, constantly filling up the tank. And then now we're at a point where we use the pump. We're connected to the storage tank is connected to the well, so we pump water from the well to the storage tank, and then it's pumped into the RV. But soon it will be pumped into the kitchen area, which is I'm very looking forward to because I do most of the dishes in the RV, and it's like this. There's really no room. Yeah. Have you heard of any info on med beds? I heard they're already being used in Japan. Why Japan first? I don't know, but it seems like Japan is moving forward in terms of XRP adoption and the like. So it could be and the Japanese people are sort of like kind of unified and together, and they seem to be more on top of things possibly than Americans. A lot of Americans are just sleepwalking because they've been so brainwashed by the mainstream media, the Mockingbird media. You can send the zeolite to the mixture. Yeah, add the zeolite, right? Yeah, so there's a lot of experimentation that we're doing. We don't have a tremendous amount of free time. We're actually planning a little bit of a traveling adventure, not just for pleasure, but we'll explain what that's about later. But yeah, it's pretty. We're moving ahead. We're also looking into the idea of getting a second vehicle, just because we're having to travel so much, and I hate to take my big truck out on the road, and it's a big gas guzzler too. Although it's a wonderful truck, but we're looking for kind of a second truck to kind of.
Yeah, and manual and V8.
Yeah, we really want to get a truck that is manual. I mean, I've been driving automatics for the last couple of years. I hate automatic transmission. It's hard on the brakes. You don't feel like you're really controlling the car. I feel like I'm driving a motorboat. I mean, it's not. I grew up with manual transmission, and so I'm hoping we're looking for a truck or a small truck with manual transmission. Danielle is saying she wants a V8, but we're also very interested in getting a truck that has no computerized parts, no cameras, no nothing. We just want a straight up little old truck. So I talked to the dealer today and I said, we'll take something from maybe like 2010 and before. And in Kingman, in Arizona, cars don't rot. So you can get an old truck, and it'll be in really like almost mint shape because there's no moisture here. There's nothing to rust. So we're looking for a second vehicle. We're looking for a sink now. We want to have some kind of stainless steel sink that's fairly deep. We were looking at professional sink, but it's just too expensive for us. So we're gonna go on Marketplace and just get an old sink and build a countertop around it with all the spare time we have. It's just it's just fun. It's just creative fun because and meanwhile James is growing all kinds of things. What was that? The fruit he's growing now? Star fruit? Is that what it's called?
No, dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit. So James just sprouted some dragon fruit seeds. We're always trying to. He's growing mango. He got some mangoes to grow. He's got avocados and willows and bamboo and all kinds of interesting and some cannabis, all kinds of interesting things that we're experimenting with growing. We have a couple of we have some pistachio trees that are still in containers, and a mulberry tree in a container. But we kind of move. Like I told James, because James is a little freaked out by Lady Meow needs an exorcist. Good riddance. I don't know who Lady Meow is. Is that on YouTube? Lady Meow. I don't see her. Yeah, I don't. If I saw her, relax, Lady Meow. I don't see Lady Meow. But I could take her out if she was. She's not showing up on Restream, but she may be showing up on YouTube. But there are all kinds of stupid trolls out there, but they got nothing better to do. But yeah, I mean, we're digging it, man. I mean, it's not easy, but it's hard for us once you understand the world, the way the world is going. It's very hard to go back to the matrix. I mean, I don't think I can't see myself renting a place somewhere or buying a place like in the matrix. I don't take her out. Yeah. I don't see her. What about your local wild plants? Yeah, we have all kinds of wild plants. I could go take her out. I could go on YouTube if you want me to, if she's bothering you. Big troll. Let me go over to YouTube and I'll deal with her. If I can, I'll try. Okay, I took out Lady Meow from YouTube, so she won't bother us until she becomes something else. But yeah, thanks for letting me know. It's not so hard. I'm going to share an interesting thing about this time period now. Good evening, everybody. Watching from the Bronx, nice. I live in Louisiana. I am learning about my local plants. I'll bet Louisiana has some incredible plants. We also have we have very interesting plants up here, but we are constantly. James is constantly expanding his collection of trees. We've already amassed a fair amount of fig trees. And what else trees? We have, like I said, mulberry, pistachio, bamboo, all kinds of cool stuff that we're growing up here. Rock Island, Illinois, nice. Louisiana. It's amazing. Okay, so I met this man at the feed store I was telling you, who he's been off grid for a long time. I mean, I know where he lives, and it's near my friend Ed's house. It's a slightly different environment. It's a very different environment. It's a little higher elevation, and they're not. It's not as rocky. They have more clay on the ground. But he is, he's an expert. He doesn't really. He's an ex-military guy, but he doesn't really tangle with the social media so much. And I said, I would love to have you on my show. He doesn't have a computer. He doesn't, I'm like, he's very hesitant to get involved, but I really think he has tremendous information. I'm hoping he'll come onto the channel on one of our shows. Just like if anyone feels they have a certain thing that they really need to share and there's no other way to share it, I'm open to, just reach out to me and we can talk about it, about you coming on and sharing your information with the world. I think this is I think the internet is a tremendously it presents tremendous opportunities for sharing information to each other, to those of us who are awake to what's going on. But let me share this quick piece. It's not such a quick piece. We'll read it together, but I think it's interesting, and this is kind of relating to the timing of what's going on and to the EBS. Now, I've been saying for years, forget about the EBS. Now, is it imminent? I don't think so. Is the movie about to end? Well, you see what's going on with the Clarity Act. The Clarity Act next Friday, next Monday. This has been going on for like a year already. The Clarity Act. Oh yeah, next month for sure. Next month, So I don't even, and I don't even think I don't think necessarily that it's important. I think all this back and forth about the Clarity Act is designed to wake as many people up as possible. But that the White Hats and the actor playing President Trump have all kinds of ways of instituting things for crypto that don't involve the fake Congress or the fake Senate, which I think it's all kind of I think they've all been arrested a long time ago. So that's just my personal take on it. So, getting all upset about it is certainly not, in my opinion, a good way to handle this, because the creepazoids live off our loosh, which is not to say, and I will get to this article in a minute, which now I had a sort of a discussion in the community about anger. I don't how do I say this? I don't agree with people that say, anger, it's a sign of weakness. You should never show anger. I am very passionate. I'm a very passionate person. And sometimes I allow myself to experience a kind of, anger. I get pissed off about stuff. If people, certain behaviors just, will spark off a real a reaction for me. I don't beat myself up about this. I don't say, oh, I'm not saintly anymore. I got angry. I think this is part of life. I do not believe, I am not, yes, I agree that we should not get emotional about the information that is being black-pilled into the thought stream. I don't believe that, I think you want to avoid emotions along those lines. But if you have a situation in your life and you're like, well, I'm a religious person, I don't get angry. That's just bullshit. And in my opinion, I'm just saying that I don't. And sometimes when you get angry and when you share something like an experience like that with another person, and you don't end up hurting each other, you will grow from it, right? You will have an epiphany about, you say, well, we had this disagreement, and I kind of understand what you're saying, and this is how relationships get richer and grow. To have a relationship where you're always making nicey all the time, and then if somebody really does something that's not nice, and you just let it roll because you're on such a high level, you don't get involved in anger. I don't know if that's hey James, I'll go like this so you don't. Are you you want to ask? Is James
Yeah,
need
go.
something? Okay. So anyway, okay. So let's read this passage together. Yeah. So sometimes in my world, sometimes I feel it's necessary to express yourself. But like I said, I don't think that's the way you really want to deal with the fear that the cabal is putting out all the time with these blackpilling, stupid articles that are designed to enrage you and inflame you. I don't think it's worth getting involved with that. But when you have a relationship, sometimes you have to, you have to break an omelet to make some eggs. I don't think that's like, oh, I still have anger issues. Well, yeah, we're called human beings, man, and we have emotions, and we have a right to. Let me just show you the sunset. Let's see if you can see this. It's a really traumatic place to live in. And like I said, if you feel you're on a really high level and you just want to hang with some people and you feel adventurous, come and visit us. We don't bite. We want to. Eventually, our goal is to create a community here. So eventually, but we want a community of people who maybe weren't vaxxed, and maybe lost their job or whatever. I mean, that's my case. But people who are interested in helping us broadcast, helping us cook, helping us build, helping us grow fruits, helping us take care of our poultry. And another thing that Rick said that I thought was very interesting. I don't know if I've shared this yet, but he said, this is the farmer I met in the feed store. He said, I said, what about cows? He said cows are okay, but they're too big, and that if you have to eat a cow, there's no way you're going to have enough freezer space to store it all, and it'll go to waste. He said it's better to do smaller animals like sheep and goats. So I thought that was very interesting. James still wants to have a cow because he wants to make cheese, but so we'll have a cow, or two. But yeah, this is all. It's an exciting experience for me. I've never been involved with farming, so it's a perfect balance for broadcasting and trying to get by. We expected to have lots of money from the XRP from my lawsuit against the Department of Education. Didn't happen, and yet we're doing just fine. So I think, and we have made contact with some kind of a craft, some kind of a ship out there that watches over us. That is the bright star in our sky. So that's where we are. We're getting along. I mean, I still love Daniela. I love James. We're working together nicely. We have issues sometimes, and Lawrence is here. Sometimes he comes and goes, and we invite people who are interested. We're hoping to get a grant, but I don't want to apply for a government grant. I'm not interested in becoming like a church and getting a lawyer and all that. It's just not for us. I want to do this in a natural way. We don't. No one so far has really come up here and said, you need a permit for your house, or you need a permit for your septic tank. I mean, they could do that, but I don't see them really coming out of their way to bother us. On YouTube, what happened to you? Hope you are doing well. I should be on YouTube. On YouTube, I'm Ellie Wee. I've lost a lot of channels, but ELIWE. If you want to see me on YouTube, that's my channel. Here, let me just write that down. ELIWE. It's kind of a weird thing, but if you go to that, you will find me on YouTube. Okay. YouTube is a great platform. I already have a strike against me. I mean, they got issues, man. And I mean, they say that I'm spreading dangerous misinformation. I'm like, really, I'm dangerous. This is dangerous misinformation. What about chemotherapy? talk about dangerous misinformation. But anyway, so yeah, so it's an interesting world. Tony Commons, for a true Chad, just look at we are witnessing like no other time on earth. Yeah, absolutely. It that's my excuse. Yeah, I'm passionate. And I'm not afraid to get angry. If something really pisses me off, and I'll get angry. I'm also very, I'm very passionate. I like to be, I enjoy being with Daniela. It's just, I'm that kind of person, right? Right, Daniela. It's all good. Yeah. She's smiling. Our ages are a little different, but it works out pretty good.
I grew up here too, but my
Oh, you
bratwurst.
Oh, the bratwurst. Okay, okay. So you guys are working. They're working on dinner. I'm the one that's kind of like I'm getting a free dinner made by James and Daniela while I'm doing this. But I will get off this. We only eat or we eat Italian pasta from because they don't use dangerous pesticides on the wheat. So we have been Daniela's been nice enough to allow us to use pasta in our dishes now, so we're kind of grooving out. And she's also been kind enough to allow us to use tomato sauces that are organic, but they're made in store. We add our own tomatoes when we can. It's just add our own squash and stuff like that. But it's just we're just alive. We're living. We do our thing. We deal with situations. Not everything is perfect. We're trying to finish the house in time for the winter, but now we have a stove. We have a refrigerator. Soon we'll get a sink. We'll probably get another vehicle. We now own our trailer, the wood trailer. It's a 20-foot trailer for hauling wood from the sawmill and from the lumber yard, but we'll own it outright. We paid it off. And it's just moving along. We're hoping to get more people involved with the project. I mean, if you want to come up here and build your own house, come on, man. I mean, you don't want to be involved with buying and selling. This is I'm hoping this will be a place that people will come and learn how to do things. If you want to come up here and have a well dug, and you want to live in a different part of this, remember, there's 170 acres. I haven't even seen most of my land. I haven't walked on most of it. But if you wanted to go down on the ridge and set up camp there, I already have a little greenhouse down there. You could have your own well dug. It's not cheap to get a well dug, but you set up a well and we could work together, build a house, and just develop a kind of a community that's outside the confines of the legal structure. Living on the land, man, brothers and sisters. We're starting it's like a tribe. We're really becoming a tribe. I don't want to become a 501c and all this, get the lawyers. I'm not seeing that. And Diane's been kind enough not to like hit me up with all kinds of, we have a basic understanding that I gave her 80 acres as collateral, and hoping that XRP or silver or one of these things, or my lawsuit, or Jassar Nassara will come along, and I'll be able to buy back the land. Most of us remember you from New York. We're happy for you. Well, thanks, Chad. Yeah, I appreciate it. But I'm saying, I invite, if anyone says, "Wow, man, I love what he's doing. I'd like to do that too." Come on, man. Come on over. Just give me a call. Well, send me an email, and kabbalahguru@gmail.com. Send me an email. We'll talk on the phone. And if it seems like something that, we're in the desert. We're in the Mojave Desert. It's not for the faint of heart. I mean, we don't have air conditioning. We don't really have structured house yet, the way some people like. But if you're okay with camping, or you have a trailer and you want to bring up your trailer and hang out for a couple days, weeks, months, years, let me know. who is prolonging the reset? It's us. Who is prolonging the reset? It is us. That is for sure. It is 100% us, because we haven't. When humanity starts to ascend and starts to take responsibility for the reset, it will have happened. That's what's prolonging the reset. It's what's prolonging the reset is for all of us to say what's prolonging the reset. In other words, to assume that it's something outside of our power that's stopping the reset. It's all within us, and you can reset. You know, live off, leave the matrix anytime you want. We did. So let me at least read this one passage. I think this is worth reading together. And the wind is kind of picking up, so I'll have to, let's see, go here and then here. Okay, so how do I do this? Let's see. In the final stretch of the deepest and most complex, I can't really read this total thing. So let me just see if I can. Maybe I can minimize it. Hold it. Yeah, that's what I'll do. No, I can't get this off. There, I can't get this off. Okay, why digital soldiers were created for this moment? I'm not going to be able to read the first paragraph. I'll just summarize it. Today is precisely trained global vanguard. Every decoded riddle, every hour of waiting, every survived wave of censorship serves only a single purpose: to forge a resilient infrastructure for the unstoppable finale. So, like for me, I've been taken off of YouTube literally 14 times, and they took away my ability to make a living. They're kind of like making motions like they want to support people like me on X, but I haven't gotten a dime from X. And Rumble gives me a little bit of money, but that's it. I mean, the only money I make is from the LifeWave product, and we appreciate your support in that area. But we together, you and I, have forged an army of unstoppable digital warriors. All right, let me go on now. This next paragraph. The foundation of this preparation was no accident, but a meticulous curriculum. Years of intensive study of the Q drops trained the ability to look behind the curtain of manipulated mainstream media and recognize patterns of unconventional warfare, irregular warfare. President Trump's coded posts on Truth Social served as a continuous compass, guiding at the direction and celebrating the moral center. It was through the pioneering legal analysis and teachings of Derek Johnson, I salute you, Derek, that the picture became complete. I met him once too. He's a very nice man. He provided the legal understanding of the invisible mechanisms operating in the background, the bad guys, the Illuminati, the cabal, the parasites, the Dracos. From Executive Order 13818 and 13848 and Presidential Emergency Action Documents, PEADS, to the official Law of War Manual. Through this accumulated knowledge, and we've been studying this together for years, probably 6-7 years together. We came here very innocently, thinking that the Great Awakening was imminent. This was years ago. You know, I remember thinking D5 was going to happen. It was December 5th. Everything was going to go down. That was already 5-6 years ago. So we just short. We never gave up. The Great Awakening strictly had to begin with a small worldwide group. A fundamental truth cannot be poured over billions of people overnight without triggering a global mass panic and the total collapse of the societal psyche. It required pioneers, a small, psychologically resilient elite of truth seekers who were willing to digest the initial shock, endure the ridicule of the sleeping masses, and organize the information. This group acted as a catalyst, remember, a catalyst doesn't change itself, it just creates a reaction. So we were not defeated, we were not demoralized. We were, just because YouTube wouldn't, monetize me. I mean, I should have been broken, but it just somehow everything kept going thanks to your support of Lifeway, which I'll talk about in a minute. But this group acted as a catalyst, creating the mental foundation that is now reaching its absolute peak as the old system collapses before everyone's eyes. Okay, so I have to go to the next page. I just have to go back. Let's go to here. Okay, go to here. Sorry about this interruption. Okay, so here's the second page now. Let's go here and go here. I can't read. The most fundamental role of Anons and Patriots, I'm just going to, begins only when the EBS is activated and the uncensored information hits the community. When screens worldwide display the crimes of the cabal and the military tribunals, the pedophilia, the adrenochrome production, the slaughter of innocents, through endless wars and the like, and the end of the corrupt fiat, the Fed, the majority of the population will plunge into a state of, gosh, I wish I could get this without this thing here. Can I hide? There we go. Okay. However, the true and most fundamental role of Anons and Patriots begins only when the EBS, the emergency broadcast system, is activated and the uncensored truth reaches all of humanity. When screens worldwide display the crimes of the old elite, the reality of the military tribunals, and the end of that corrupt fiat monetary system, the majority of the population will plunge into a state of profound shock, disbelief, and disorientation. In this moment of collective awakening, you are the lighthouse. The lighthouses. You will not be there to say, "We told you so," but to give people stability. Your mission will be to explain events calmly, erase fears, and act as an emotional and intellectual anchors in your families, neighborhoods, and communities. You are the architects of a new era, humanly guiding the transition to Jasara, Nasara, and the quantum financial system, the QFS. Holding the line on this absolute finish line feels so incredibly difficult because the darkness presses hardest before the light breaks through. Remember my song, New Morning? They tried to bury us in debt, shame, and fear, but our roots grew stronger as we reached into the air with freedom. Maybe I'll play that at the end. In this phase of maximum psychological pressure, where the old structures launch their last desperate distractions and psyops, yet giving up now, so close to the goal, would mean leaving the line at the final hour. Your unwavering courage in the alliance's indivisible defensive line on the home front. Let me read that again. Your unwavering courage is the alliance's invisible defense line on the home front. Hold your ground. Trust in the legal armor of the continuance of protocols, continuance of government's protocols, and stay in the light. And that's from Daniel Guardian. Are brilliant and well thought out, and important for us to realize how critical we are in this great awakening and in this fight against the most horrendous evil. Hey, Anton. Yeah, I'm ready to go flounder fishing, man. The flounders in in Alabama must be big, man. I mean, on the Gulf. I'm just guessing. The Gulf is a very rich area. But yeah, so less than what? Yeah, the population, they're clueless. They're absolutely clueless. Only 300,000 people own XRP. I've heard only 300,000. That's a fraction of a fraction of a percent of people that own that know what's about to happen. So continue doing your good work. We will be back. Tomorrow is Sunday. We'll come back tomorrow. I want to thank everyone for supporting us with the LifeWave product. Please reach out if you have any health issues. You might want to reach out to Dr. Stacy. She'll get back to you. She'll call you. She'll talk to you. She's very quick, very efficient, very successful, and she would love to share for you. We would love to have you work with us to share this product with other people. I think the X2O machine, which infuses 6 wavelengths of light into your water, is an amazing addition to your health practices. We use it every day, and the benefits are extraordinary, extraordinary. We're just living in a very healthy way, sleeping through the night, this kind of thing. So thank you for supporting us with the LifeWave product. I'm going to play the song about New Morning because I think it's important. We're talking about this, how important you are, to you. Only a small tiny fraction. I mean, our channel is minuscule compared to some of the bigger channels, because people are still, they think things are happening to them, and they think there's a world out there, and that's that they're waiting for the world and all this stuff. We're way beyond that. We understand that everything comes from inside, from an inner standing of reality. So let's share this tune together. I love you, and I respect you, and I thank you for being here and supporting the LifeWave product and supporting the channel in general. Mobile Bay, Pensacola Bay, and the coastal. Yeah, I'll bet it's really nice down there. Maybe someday, please God, I will get to visit you there. We certainly don't have. We do have a little creek near here that has fish in it. Believe it or not, I'm not sure what kind of fish it is. It's called Trout Creek, but I doubt. I think the water is too warm for trout, but I could be wrong. Could be some kind of weird trout. I don't know. Anyway, so let's share this. The idea of a new morning, that we're coming, and really, you are the lighthouses. You are the ones that will help your family, your friends get through this transition, because we're already there. All right, so let's check this out. Are you getting sound? Okay, so I guess from what I understand, no one's getting the sound, so I won't even try. I don't know why that is. It doesn't make sense to me, but maybe they're blocking us out. I'm sorry about the sound. So I guess let me try one more attempt. Let's just see if I can get this.
Sunday at dawn, the night was hotter than hell and forever long. I can see the first light breaking through the trees. I feel the changes in the cool breeze of freedom. It's a new morning. We never saw it coming, hiding in plain sight. Banksters taking power, stealing our lives. They were looking to bury us in debt, shame and fear. But our roots grew stronger as we reached into the air with freedom. Freedom. And it's a new morning. It's a new with each day we're rising up in this world with the power of love, with the power of peace, the power of joy, the power of truth, and the power of It's a new morning. It's a new morning. It's a new
Well, thanks so much for coming. I'm sorry about the problems with the sound, but we finally got it through. But it's a new morning. They tried to bury us with debt, shame, and fear, but our roots grew stronger as we reach into the air with freedom. So, thanks to everyone for coming. Thanks for supporting us through the Lifeway product. I highly recommend the X2O machine. If you want to come and visit us someday, come on up. You want to start your own, build your own house up here and be part of this community up here. There's all kinds of land pretty cheap up here. So if you like to own a lot of land and you want to start a new world for yourself, we'd love to have you as neighbors. All right, so we'll, God willing, we'll see you tomorrow night. I hope hopefully I'll be starting a little early. Thanks, Canon 68. I appreciate your help with this. Use the force. You are the force. You are the you read the article. You are the lighthouses. You are the ones when the time comes, which is now, people are going to look to you and say, what the hell is going on? And you'll be able to tell them, right? Use source. Connect to source. You don't need any fancy religions or anything like that. You can just go direct, man. Just let it happen. Let it roll. Allow things to come to you. You don't have to search so hard. You don't have to beg God for the truth, or like here I'm dealing with this craft in the sky. I'm not begging him. I'm like saying, hey, come on, man, hang with me. It's like, and he's responsive, but it's apparently not time yet for the alliance, for the galactics to reveal themselves to us, but they are revealing themselves to us. We see them out there. And let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock the world.